Okay, we're back live at the Key Telethon, and we got a couple of announcements of people who have made pledges. We have a $100 donation from Dr. Carl Irvin. We've also have some from Patricia Peterson, Lorraine Wilcox, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Bellamy, Mr. and Mrs. John Brin, and Mr. and Mrs. Larry Courtney. And I believe you have some too?
Yes, I do. I have Paula Holtzclaw from Crystal River. I have Mr. and Mrs. McGinnis from Homosassa. Thank you. Miss Palau from Crystal River. Miss Schaefer. Miss... How would you say that last name?
Schmaggy.
Thank you. And Mr. and Mrs. Donald Stratter from Homosassa, we thank you for your support.
Absolutely. And while, you may think that your individual pledge doesn't make a difference, and it may be a small amount, but friends, every single dollar makes a difference in someone's life. It could be the difference between they have proper, adequate care and the potential to expand their abilities to engage back in society, and you can be a part of that. So don't think your donation is too small. Call right now, 527-2341 locally, 888-377-0340.
It's important for the people that are watching today, the donations that we get, that helps support over 60 individuals that receive a scholarship from us. If they did not have the support of the Key Training Center, they would be on a waiting list with almost 20,000 other individuals for the state of Florida to receive services. This is very unusual for an organization, a nonprofit organization for ourselves, to do nearly 60 individuals. And that can range from $8,000 to $40,000. It all depends on the need of that individual. So if you had a child, they graduated locally from the Crest Public School System, which they have done a wonderful job with, well, guess what? If they don't have waiver funding from the state, what are they going to do? We bring them on. And the only way that we can do that is through the community. So every donation amount, you said before, $1, $5, $10, please, if you haven't given, give us a call at 527-2341 because your donation, tax-deductible donation, really does make a difference here in Citrus County and with persons with developmental disabilities.
And if you ever have a contact, it's amazing how you can see the difference between the resident when they first come into the facility.
Oh, yeah.
Down the line. It affects not only the resident, their family, and in actuality the community, because a lot of these now are in independent living facilities where they've gained skills. Correct. They're able to give back and work in the community and make a difference.
Paying their taxes.
Absolutely.
And contributing to the
to be a death sentence when you were told that you had a disability, but that's no longer the case. You now have the education, the training, the medical care that makes a difference. And these individuals are just special individuals, unlike any other. And I guarantee if you ever have the opportunity to meet a resident, your life will be changed forever because you see love. I'm very active in my church, and one of the things that we often talk about is if things are going really well, you feel the anointing of God. And what that is, it's the unfiltered love of God that comes upon you, and it's a special feeling. But when you meet a Key Center resident, that's the closest that you'll ever get on earth to having that feeling because they express the full love.
Pure and true.
Oh, incidentally, I wanted to tell we got a little competition going here in the studio.
Yeah, I haven't heard this, so you need to let me know what's going on.
Terry and his son Justin Batchelor, who are camera people here helping us out today, they apparently have, you have left and right brain people, and certain people cannot stand certain things to be out of disorder. And we had a negative or an odd number, so they kept rounding it up to the next zero. And of course, me being the instigator that I am, I kept throwing in $1 to throw it out, and they kept coming up. So right now we're at $85,931 and get it back to an odd number. Okay. So we'll see if they'll continue on our challenge here. So here's the $1 to make it. So are you an odd person or an even person? Let's see what goes on.
That's great. That's great. We do want to thank Altrusa of Citrus County for manning this hour on the phones. I've been hearing the phones ringing here off and on, and they've done this for us many years coming out and manning the phones for us, and we just want to say thank you to Altrusa for doing that for us.
Absolutely. Hey, you want me to tell you a story, and I'll tell you, it shows that if I can be here, anybody can be here. Let me tell you a quick story.
Okay.
Just a couple of minutes. There are two people who died and went to heaven. One was an attorney, and that's professionally what I am, and also a preacher. And they went up to the gate of St. Peter, and St. Peter says, "Sirs, we're running behind schedule. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we check you in, but in the meantime, time we'll give you the tour of heaven. So they went to see the sights, and he says, by the time we get back, the secretary will process the paperwork, we'll get you in. So they go all around heaven, and they see this little dilapidated shack. The doors are off the hinges, the cupboards are bare, there's no paint on the walls. St. Peter looks at the preacher and says, sir, this is where you're going to be living in heaven. And of course, in all humility, the preacher says that if the Lord sees for me to live here, I'll make do. When they continue to go on and they come to this spectacular southern mansion, pillars in front, the lawn's perfectly manicured, there's a pool party going on, all the inn people in heaven are living there, and St. Peter looks at the attorney and says, sir, this is where you're going to be living in heaven. And all of a sudden the preacher gets really upset and he says, no, wait a minute, here I'm a man of the cloth, I've tried to do everything that God told me to do, and this lawyer, this liar, this scum, this lowest form on earth gets the nicest thing in heaven, what's the catch? St. Peter looks at him and says, sir, we get preachers here every day. This is the first attorney we've ever had in heaven. So if we can potentially make it there and we can help out our community, even though we're the lowest of the low, you can help the community too. Please give the Key Training Center. So again, everybody has the potential to help.
Speaking about time, our runners should be here in about noon.
Yep.
And afterwards, we're going to actually have them here on the telethon and kind of tell us how today went and how basically the whole run went. But for those of you that like to get some information before that, hit our website, www.runforthemoney.com or org. It will direct you to the same place. It lists all those runners that took place, that did legs this week on the road. And
God bless them, because I was sweating just coming from the car to the studio. I can imagine.
This year we were very concerned. We made sure they had plenty of water, and they did have to take it slower. They used to be able to do, they try to average about 30 miles a day and do a morning run and an afternoon run. But it took much longer this year, as we all know, because of the extreme weather that we have. So I really hope that there's a lot of people out there. I know our consumers, our program participants are so excited. I don't know if you've ever experienced when they come in at noon, but it's just a very, very special moment.
I'm planning on being out there today for sure.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't ask me to jog because when I jog, it's kind of like the Michael Jackson moonwalk. I go backwards, not forward, so they would have been even longer if I'd have
that could actually been instead of a couple hours, that could have been many hours.
We would be in Pensacola as opposed to Citrus County, yeah. So.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a video next. I think it's Heroes.
And then we're going to be
touching story.
And then we're going to be wrapping up our segment, and we're going to have Mac and Sharon Harris who are going to be taking over the next hour for the telethon. So I want to thank everybody here at the Key, everybody in the community giving me the privilege to be here today. It's something that I've wanted to do for many years. This community's blessed me. This organization has done so much for us. Let's show our support. Let's dig into our pockets and help them out, and it will make a difference.
We thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go to that video.